What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Baseline Broadcast. If you didn't know already, my name's Caroline Anderson. I love tennis. I made a YouTube channel about it. That's one of my favorite things to say now. Anyway, so we're back on court, so to speak. We've had a little bit of a break, but now we are going to get into the last little bit of the season. And it's going to be fun. So, we're starting off with Toronto, or as other people would call it, Canada. Because the National Bank Open, or Canada, is played in two cities, Montreal and Toronto. And the players alternate between each city. Excuse the notification. But they alternate between the two cities every single year. So on the odd number years, the ladies will play in Montreal, and then on the even number years, they play in Toronto. And for the guys, it's the other way around. So we are looking at the ladies, which means we are in Toronto. And yeah, let's get started. Alright, you guys, kicking off the player watch list is obviously the world number one, Aryna Sabalenka. Sabalenka has been the world number one since October of 2024. And she has had a total, this is probably even more now, but she has been world number one for at least 100 weeks in her career. And a bunch of those are consecutive weeks since she became world number one in 2024. This year, Sabalenka got off to a pretty stellar start. She did really well at the Australian tournaments, even though she did drop the Australian Open final to Elena Rybakina. She still stayed pretty consistently good, especially going into Indian Wells. And last week we talked about that blockbuster final between her and Rybakina in Indian Wells, which she ended up winning. After the start to the season, though, she had a tough run on the clay courts and even on the grass courts. She could not find rhythm, she could not find form, and she did not make it past the quarterfinals in a major tournament. In those two surfaces, right? The only time she did was at the Australian Open. Sabalenka has some major points to defend this year on the second half of the hardcourt season. She is the defending U.S. Open champion. I do believe she did well at Toronto last year. I'd have to look at it again, but she does have a lot at stake here, especially with losing a bunch of Wimbledon points, losing a bunch of Roland Garros points, losing a bunch of Madrid points, things like that. She is only holding on to that number one title let's say number one position by a thread. Elena Rybakina is inching closer and closer to her, and with her losing, she is closing that gap. So she is going to be looking to do well at these hardcore tournaments to hang on to that number one title, or position, and also be able to defend her title in New York, especially because, like last year, that will be the only Grand Slam she wins all year if she ends up winning it. For Toronto, she's just got to get back to playing well. She's got to do what she's done in Brisbane and in the other Australian tournaments. She's just got to find that form again. And if she does, she'll be dangerous. And so watch out for her in these tournaments. Alright, next player. World number two seed, Elena Rybakina. As I mentioned before, Elena is inching closer and closer to that world number one spot. Elena reaching the world number two spot in Indian Wells, actually, earlier this year, when Iga Swiatek was really struggling at the tournament, and Rybakina made it all the way to the final. So that helped her out a lot. Another thing that helped her out a lot was winning the Australian Open, which, again, we talked about last week. And she's done well, of course, on those hardcore tournaments. But after winning Stuttgart, which is on clay, but after that, she had a little bit of a struggle. She struggled in Madrid and Rome. She struggled at Roland Garros. She struggled on the grass court tournaments. And of course, she struggled at Wimbledon after a shock loss to Elise Mertens, who she had beat, actually, earlier this year at the Australian Open. That was at Wimbledon. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but it was at Wimbledon. And Wimbledon's her favorite tournament, and it stinks that this is another year where she's had to struggle. Or she has had to struggle. She'll be looking to play really well at these hardcore tournaments, and maybe gain some of that momentum back that she had earlier in the year. And, she'll be looking to bounce back at Toronto. She'll be looking to bounce back in Cincinnati and at the U.S. Open. If she wins any one of these tournaments, she will be the world number one. And that'll be a big deal for her, since it'll be her career high ranking. But basically, she's got to win the tournaments, and Sabalenka's got to not do as well. But I do think if she wins, she will squeak past that number one spot, or into that number one spot. So Sabalenka's got to be careful, but Rybakina's got to find her form again. So keep an eye on her the rest of the season as well. Alright, next one. Jessica Pegula, world number 3 seed. She's done pretty well this year. She made it to the semifinals in the Australian Open before being defeated by Rybakina. She played pretty well in Miami before being defeated by Rybakina. I'm pretty sure she played well in Indian Wells too before being defeated by Rybakina. I'd have to look at all that, but she's made it to world number 3 after the grass and clay court seasons, and she has done pretty well. I mean, I guess, the grass and clay court seasons were not super great for her, but they did get her up to world number 3, so I know she's looking forward to these hardcore tournaments. These are her bread and butter. She's made it to the semifinals of the U.S. Open. She's made it to the final of the U.S. Open. She's done incredibly well for herself on these hard courts. So watch out. She'll be dangerous going into these tournaments. She's not one that you want to mess with, for sure. Alright, so Coco Gauff. Man, I'm excited to talk about her. So after struggling the first half of the year, especially at the Australian Open and at Roland Garros, which she wouldn't have liked because she won last year and she wanted to defend those points, but she ended up bouncing back at Wimbledon, making it all the way to the semifinals, which was her best result at that tournament. Previously, she hadn't even made it past the 4th round, so I was incredibly impressed with her at Wimbledon. She played a heck of a match against Karolina Muchova. Even though she dropped it, she fought to the very end, and that's something she should be very proud of. These hardcore tournaments, though, also her bread and butter. She is going to be dangerous and not one to mess with. So, watch for her to make a good run at tournaments like the U.S. Open and even these 1,000 tournaments before. She's not one to overlook, for sure, especially when she is locked in and in form. So, but yeah, so again, just wanted to mention the run at Wimbledon did push her back up to world number 4. Iga's Swiatek ended up dropping due to her loss early on. And that helped Coco a lot too because she jumped and Iga dropped. So it was a switch there. But yeah, watch out for Coco. She's dangerous. All right, next one. All right, y'all. This one's a fun one. I've learned this season to never underestimate Linda Noskova. This girl, when she is locked in, focused, she's got her best serve on. She is incredibly difficult to beat. And Karolina Mukova found that out in the Wimbledon final. I remember saying the key for Mukova is to break Noskova, and when you can't break Noskova, she's gonna make you pay for it. So look for her to continue this momentum that she has gained on the grass courts. She did also, this picture that you see of her, she was at the Australian Open this year and she did really well. So she can do well on hard courts too, so do not underestimate her, do not fall asleep on her. She'll make you pay for it. And watch out for her, she's dangerous. Alright, next one. Alright, you guys, you know this last one is going to be Alex Yala, right? After the incredible grass court season she had, she did well on hard courts too, but she really broke out at the grass court tournament. She won, I believe it was Birmingham. Then she did pretty well in Berlin, and then she also made it all the way to the round of 16 at Wimbledon, which was a big deal for the Filipinos because she's the first Filipino woman to do so. Or maybe the first Filipino ever to do so. So she has a lot to be proud of, and she's doing actually extremely well in DC right now. So do not underestimate her. Do not count her out. When she's in form, like everybody else in this video, she is dangerous, and she is not one to be underestimated. So keep an eye out for Yala. She's an incredible person too. I'm so proud of her. Yeah. Alright, you guys, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.